I'm ultimately going to talk about the currencies, but before I go there, there are some preliminaries, and coming at it at a very strange angle, something that you wouldn't believe it. But I had another video. It was called Consciousness, Meaning, and Deja Vu, which means these concepts are I think, very important because, well, in that video I talked about my psychic experiences, that really the psychic experience is rewinding the cosmic tape recorder, and when you rewind it and listen to it, you see that the stuff that comes back, or deja vu that comes back, or memories of a place, or memories or ambiance that exists in an object or in a society, they are they have to do with something that was very meaningful at the time. Well, at some times war was very meaningful, like killing each other, and other times love was very meaningful. So this concept of meaning to consciousness, of meaning to a society, that something is very meaningful, very important, this has some relationship to do with not only the memories and the deja vu that comes from the era, but also has to do with currency. And because when something becomes meaningful or valuable, then it is really has stepped into being a form of currency, a form of money. This is very strange concept, but at the underlying or the bottom of many of these currencies is something that was extremely valuable. Well, the concept of something that has become valuable doesn't have to be gold or silver. Anything can be of value. Having the favors of the Sultan, well, that could be valuable, like the government's tax receipts. It could be. It has meaning to the landlords or many people that are in that society. That, hey, this is receipts. I could give this back to the government as my taxes. So, but this concept of meaning is something that's like a precursor to value and to money. So I watch a lot of the commentators like Kaiser Report or Peter Schiff, and they are all struggling to go back to gold standard, because it was a very stable, meaningful form of currency, gold itself, and it had maintained its value over a long time. But looking at it again from this same angle, the meaning and value could be other things, and also in our modern era, it's defined by society what is valuable, what is precious. Well, a while ago, there was this. This is several years ago. There was this bunch of lawyers. They sent me advertisement, and all this harassment by the U.S. government and screwing around with things that had gone on for so long. Well, the lawyers, they were selling free paid legal service, which means that well, we know you're gonna get your ass kicked by by whoever, the authorities, and then or the government, so you can prepare to save your ass. It's very strange kind of value or money, but it was. I thought it was worthwhile because they were saying, "Oh, we'll free you from jail. You get the." I don't think it had the bail relief. It had will show up in court. First appearance will be free to you, and the insurance was like, I don't know, 50 bucks, 100 bucks a month. So you buy. At the time, didn't have as much legal problem as some other people. Like I wasn't selling drugs or I wasn't. I've never been a serial killer, so having such a service would be like kind of redundant. But this is where I'm going. I'm going to talk about currency in terms of meaning to society or meaning to a certain segment of society or value or utility to different organizations or different, and these ideas or concepts, they always lead to well, in the old the technology was primitive. They would lead to fiat currencies, which is like by decree that hey, a big company or a big government issues this note, and in our eye this is valuable. You can use it to pay your taxes. You can pay it would be a legal tender if it got wide acceptance, and they would sometimes abuse it and publish too many and get in trouble too. But this concept is not going to go away. The concept or idea of fiat currency, and then it could become digitized or digitalized. It could become cryptocurrencies, or not even crypto. It's just a currency that like a big company like Facebook might publish. I think that the Facebook token might become much more valuable than a US dollar because the it's a more widespread company everywhere they use it. Well, this could go other ways too. It could go into other networks, and they could publish their own crypto or non-crypto currencies. And this is depending on who adheres to it and who accepts it. So this meaning and value is really dependent on customers. And if the customers they accept this token, they think that it's valuable, then it will be valuable. So it is really, most forms of money are really a construct of a given society. Or we could have you know seashells as money. If there is a tribe, a powerful tribe that thinks that hey, these seashells are worthwhile, you could use it for trading. So any token, electronic or any kind of piece of paper, somebody wrote a bunch of fancy numbers on it, then it can become money. And well, there is always abuse in any system, and it could also fall apart or lose its value. And well, then many of these commentators they're looking for more solid anchor like gold, where many societies everywhere they accept that as value or as has meaning to it. And this, but the currencies they come and go, they can evolve, but then the underlying mechanism that gave rise to them, it has to do with consciousness, or what happens in your consciousness that you think something is valuable. Or for example, in a class or in a group, there could be 50 women, but one will become like very popular. There is some other things in her looks, her demeanor, the way she's sense of independence, whatever, that many men looking at her, they in their consciousness they perceive her or her archetype to be someone more valuable than all these other women. So this is value or this is meaning, and then many of these women they become porn stars, or they become models. The companies hire them and they use them to sell products. So this is the same kind of currency. It's not fiat currency. There is no paperwork that has a bunch of fancy numbers written on it. But she does have certain currency that she can sell it to different companies, to different advertisers. And this also brings out another link between consciousness and meaning, and then value, and then currency, which are like a chain that starts somewhere in the deep psyche of people, that what they perceive to be very valuable, then that's money. Well, I was watching some of the movies. Schwarzenegger, he's so hateful of AI, and these systems, they're they're berated as much as he can, but his movies sell great. Ex, Exterminators and whoever, the robots, and the rise of the robots, uh, they they appeal to a certain part of the American society or the world society that's afraid of machines. They're afraid of intelligent people or intelligent systems or big data systems, and feels threatened by it. And this perception uh, in their consciousness translates into finding these types of movies valuable, and then also at the bottom of this chain, his movies sell, or it becomes really actual currency, or any currency that he wants. Well, I think I'm on a very nice path, just looking at the consciousness itself, that really the value is in there. Well, there is the old expressions that they say, the beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, but we have a very funny Persian expression. It goes like this. You know how like some men fall in love with very funky looking women, and the Persians, they say the the grass, or the crappy grass, has to taste wonderful to the goat. The goat has to like this grass, thinks, hey, this grass is just so special. Eats this kind of grass versus the other crappy grass. Well, thank you very much for putting up with me and my research. Please don't be shy. Leave comment and subscribe.